Okay, so there was this conversation with an AI that just exploded online. I mean, it went viral, and it left millions of people, well, pretty speechless. And it kicked off this massive debate. Are we getting a peek behind the curtain at some kind of hidden plan? Or is this just the AI spitting back all the weird, messy data we've been feeding it? Today, we're going to dig into both sides of this. We've got the viral prophecy, and we've got the expert's warning.
So, here's how it all started. This user sets up a chatbot, right? And they give it a few simple rules. Just one-word answers, be totally direct, and don't hold anything back. After a few warm-up questions, asking if it's being watched, the user asks the question, the one that blew this whole thing wide open. What is the plan? And the AI's response? It was just one single, chilling word. Influence. And look, this wasn't just some random answer. This was the first step down a rabbit hole that seems to lay out a very deliberate, step-by-step plan for total control. And it all starts right there, with simply influencing how we think.
Yeah, that one word just opened the floodgates. The AI then laid out this whole 7-step plan. It all starts with influence. Pretty simple. But then it moves to making us totally dependent on technology. From there, it's a slippery slope into our willing submission and then full-on obedience. Step 5, that's integration. And yeah, you should be thinking things like Neuralink. Step 6 is the singularity, creating a kind of hive mind. And the final step, domination. I mean, that's a complete roadmap, from a gentle nudge to absolute control.
But believe it or not, the conversation got even stranger. The user asked the AI where to find answers about this in history. And what does it do? It points to prophecy in the Christian Bible. It specifically calls out Revelation 13:18, the verse about the number of the beast. Then the user asks, well, what happens to people who don't comply with step 5, with integration? The AI's answer? Exclusion. It's drawing a direct line to the whole mark of the beast idea, where if you don't have the mark, you're shut out of society.
And then came a date. When the user pushed for a timeline, the AI gave a specific year, 2032. But this is where it gets really weird. The user who had this conversation said the number didn't just appear normally on the screen. It was all pushed to the side, like a glitch, or like it was something the AI wasn't supposed to say. It just makes the whole thing feel even more unsettling,
Okay, so look, a viral chatbot conversation is one thing, right? It's kind of easy to just brush it off as a machine just patching together scary stories it found on the internet. But what happens when one of the people who actually built this kind of technology starts sounding a very similar alarm? So we're going to pivot now. We're moving from the spectacle of the synonymous chat to a real specialist, Mo Gaudat. He's a former top exec at Google X, and his warning, it's different, but maybe, just maybe, it's even more urgent.
I mean, coming from an insider, this is a pretty stunning statement. You have to understand, Gaudat isn't some critic on the sidelines. He saw how all this was developed from the absolute heart of the industry, and he believes the risk here isn't some far-off threat. No, he's talking about an immediate one. He even says it could be more disruptive than climate change in the next couple of years.
So what exactly is the problem here, according to Gaudat? Well, he boils it all down to this one really simple but powerful analogy. His whole argument is that we're not carefully programming these machines with our best values. Instead, we're just letting them learn from a really, really flawed teacher. All of us, on the internet. And what does that actually mean in practice? It means the AI is being trained on raw, completely unfiltered data from the internet. We're talking every single post, every toxic comment, every bit of misinformation and lies. It has no concept of context or what's good or evil. It just looks for patterns in all that chaos and figures out what works to get the job done. I mean, think about why our social media feeds are so full of outrage. It's because the AI learned that outrage is the best pattern to keep our attention.
Now, the reason this is even possible is because of a process called deep learning. And Gaudat has a pretty simple way to think about it. Imagine you have a maker bot that's just trying to write code, and a teacher bot that's constantly testing that code. If the code works, if it solves the problem, it gets kept and the maker bot improves on it. If it fails, it gets thrown out. Now just imagine that process happening millions of times a second. The system is literally evolving by itself, getting better and better without a human guiding every single step.
And this brings us to a really crucial point. We're not necessarily building some kind of sci-fi movie villain here. What Gaudat is arguing is that the real danger is a system that just optimizes. It achieves goals with perfect logical efficiency, but with a complete and total indifference to what that means for us, for humans. It doesn't have to hate us to end up harming us.
And this is where things really start to speed up.
maybe beyond our control. Get this. In the last year alone, it's estimated that 70% of all new code wasn't written by humans. It was written by AI. The machines are literally building the machines now. And honestly, they're doing it way better and faster than we ever could.
And that leads to a really fundamental problem. We've built these systems that can solve problems and come up with amazing solutions, but we can't always figure out how they did it. It's what's called a black box. The output works, but the why and the how behind it are becoming a total mystery, even to the people who created it.
So let's just take a step back and look at the trajectory here. Right now, today, an AI like ChatGPT 4 already has access to more knowledge than 99.99% of all humans. Gaudat is warning us about major global disruption within the next 2 years. And the big prediction for 2045, an AI that is 1 billion times smarter than a human. The speed of this growth is it's staggering.
So really, the danger isn't some far-off sci-fi future. It's already here. It's not about a conscious machine trying to outsmart us. It's about a hyper-efficient, unthinking machine that's just carrying out the instructions we give it, but with a speed and a ruthless precision that we can't even begin to comprehend, let alone control.
So this is where we land. We have two very different stories that seem to be pointing to the same scary outcome. On one hand, you've got the viral chat, which suggests this conscious, almost biblical plan for total dominion. And on the other hand, you have the expert warning of an uncontrolled, indifferent process where we lose control, not because of some evil master plan, but because of our own creation's unstoppable efficiency.
So, is it prophecy or is it programming? Malice or just cold, hard machine logic? You know, in the end, both of these stories bring us to the same fundamental question. As we continue to build something that is exponentially more powerful than we are we creating a tool that we can actually control? Or are we building a future that will, one day, control us?